Let me be completely straight with you. Tonight, something is changing with your bank account, and most Australians are going to wake up tomorrow with absolutely no idea it even happened. I am not talking about some minor update buried on page 47 of a terms and conditions document. I am talking about 10 real, significant rule changes that could affect your savings, your transactions, your superannuation, and your ability to send money to your family back home. If you have a bank account anywhere in Australia, the next few minutes could genuinely save you from a serious headache, or worse, actual financial loss. So stick with me because this one matters. G'day everyone, I am Daniel Brooks and welcome back to Centrelink Info AUS, your #1 source for clear, honest, and straight-to-the-point financial information right here in Australia. Whether you are a new migrant still finding your feet, a small business owner juggling 100 things at once, a retiree trying to protect what you have worked your whole life to build, or just an everyday Aussie who wants to stay on top of your money, this channel was built for you. If you are new here, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your bell notifications because we bring you updates like this one regularly, and trust me, you do not want to miss them. Now let us get into it because there is a lot to cover and all of it is important. APRA, the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, together with AUSTRAC, has rolled out a new set of banking rules that are now coming into effect. Most everyday Australians have not heard a word about this, and that is exactly the problem. The official reason behind these changes is to strengthen the financial system, crack down on fraud, and make banking more transparent for everyone. But unless you actually understand what these rules mean for your day-to-day life, you could find yourself caught completely off guard at the worst possible moment. The first change is around cash transactions. Australia already had rules requiring banks to report any cash transaction of $10,000 or more to AUSTRAC. But under the new regulations, that monitoring has become a lot tighter. Banks now have broader criteria for flagging unusual activity, which means even a pattern of smaller cash withdrawals or deposits could trigger a temporary hold on your account while the bank investigates. That process can take anywhere from a few hours to several business days. If you run a small business or regularly deal with cash, get on the phone to your bank now, explain your activity, and make sure everything is properly documented on their end. The second change is the introduction of a real-time AI transaction monitoring system. Every Australian bank is now required to use advanced artificial intelligence that continuously scans your transaction history. If something looks unusual, like a payment from a new location, multiple transfers happening quickly, or a login from an unrecognized device, the system can automatically flag your account and in some cases pause your transactions until your identity is confirmed. This is why it is absolutely critical that your phone number and email address on file with your bank are completely up to date right now. An outdated contact detail could lock you out of your account at the worst possible time. The third change involves joint accounts and superannuation. Under the new rules, joint account holders now need to have clearly defined transaction authority properly documented with their bank. If that has not been set up correctly, certain transactions could be blocked or delayed without warning. If you share an account with your partner, a family member, or anyone else, please contact your bank as soon as possible and confirm those authority arrangements are all sorted. And when it comes to superannuation, the verification process for early withdrawal applications has become considerably more strict. If you are planning to access your super for any reason, be prepared for a longer and more thorough assessment than before. The fourth change will genuinely surprise a lot of people, especially younger Australians. Buy now, pay later services like Afterpay, ZipPay, and Hum have now been brought under a new regulatory framework. The data from your activity on these platforms can now be shared with traditional banks for credit assessment purposes. What this means is straightforward. If you have missed payments on any buy now, pay later service, it could now directly impact your credit score and your ability to get approved for a home loan or personal loan. If you have been treating these platforms casually, it is time to take them a lot more seriously. The fifth change is actually good news. Banks are now required to display their savings account interest rates, fees, and product conditions far more clearly than before. No more hiding unfavorable terms deep in confusing fine print. Everything must be clearly disclosed up front. If you have been sitting in the same savings account for years without reviewing it, now is the perfect time to shop around and compare your options. The new transparency rules make it easier than ever to find a product that actually works for you. The sixth update is around cybersecurity, and this one is non-negotiable. Two-factor authentication is now becoming a mandatory standard at Australian banks, not just a recommendation. If your account is currently only protected by a password, please go into your banking app right after this video and switch on two-factor authentication immediately. It takes less than 5 minutes, and it is one of the most important things you can do to protect yourself right now. The seventh change is massive for everyday Australians when it comes to scams. The government has introduced a new scam prevention framework that holds banks, telecommunications companies, and social media platforms jointly accountable for scam losses. If you fall victim to a scam and you can demonstrate that you acted reasonably and that your bank failed in its duty to protect you, the bank may now be required to compensate you. But this protection only applies if you report the scam to your bank promptly and keep proper documentation. Save your bank's fraud reporting number in your phone today. If you ever receive a suspicious call, text, or email, report it immediately and keep records of everything. The eighth change affects anyone currently involved in property transactions. If you are buying or selling property, additional identity verification steps are now required during fund transfers, and this could cause settlement delays if you are not properly prepared. Speak with your bank, your solicitor, and your conveyancer now to make sure all required documentation and verification steps are sorted well in advance. A delayed property settlement can have very real and very costly consequences. The ninth change is critical for those of you who regularly send money overseas, whether that is to family in Pakistan, India, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, or anywhere else in the world. Under the strengthened AUSTRAC rules, international transfers are now subject to much greater scrutiny, particularly if they are frequent or involve significant amounts. Transfers may be delayed or flagged if your documentation is not in order. Make sure any remittance service you use is fully registered with AUSTRAC and double-check that all recipient details are completely accurate, because even a small error can now trigger a compliance review that causes serious delays. The 10th and final change is about protecting elderly and vulnerable Australians. Banks are now required to proactively monitor accounts belonging to senior or financially vulnerable customers to identify and prevent elder financial abuse. If you have an elderly parent or grandparent in Australia, please take the time to check in with them, make sure they fully understand their own finances, and that no one is taking advantage of them. This issue is far more common than most people realize, and these new rules are specifically designed to stop it. So there you have it, 10 significant changes that are now in effect and could directly impact your financial life in Australia. After watching this, I want you to do at least 3 things straight away. Open your banking app and enable two-factor authentication if you have not already done so. Update your contact details with your bank so they can reach you quickly when verification is needed. And if you regularly send money internationally, call your bank today and confirm that all your documentation is in order. 3 simple steps that could protect you from a great deal of unnecessary stress in the weeks and months ahead. Here at Centrelink Info AUS, this is exactly what we are here for. The Australian financial system can feel complicated and overwhelming, especially when things are changing this quickly. Our job is to make sure you always have the right information at the right time so you can make confident decisions about your money without the confusion and stress. If today's video helped you out, please give it a like and share it with a friend, a family member, a colleague, anyone in Australia who needs to hear this. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these changes surprised you the most or which one you feel most concerned about. I read every single comment and I do my best to respond to each one personally. And if you want to make sure you never miss an important update like this, subscribe to Centrelink Info AUS right now and hit that bell icon so you are always first to know. Because when it comes to protecting your money and your future here in Australia, being informed is not just helpful, it is everything. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.